Hey guys, it's DJ. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what I consider to be the most effective way to use lead-ins in your voiceover auditions. Now, before we get started, I have a script here that was created by Claude AI. I want you to pause the video, open up your DAW, or even better, set up your camera and record yourself 2 takes of this script here, 2 different takes, different tones. I'm not going to say any specs here. I just want you to make your own decision. And I want you to use lead-ins on both of them, all right? Use what you consider to be your lead-in on both of these here. And save those because we're going to refer back to those and compare your performance now and what it is at the end of the video. All right, so hopefully you got those 2 takes recorded. Thank you so much for doing that because I think it'll really click once you see it in practice, okay? Let's talk about what a lead-in is, or how most people understand what a lead-in is. But first, let me start by saying what a lead-in is not. A lead-in is not a pre-life. I've heard several of my students confuse the two. Oh yeah, I did my pre-life, but in reality what they did was they said something before they read their script. That is not a pre-life. A pre-life is a completely different thing, and I have a video about it. It's How to Practice Your Voiceover by Yourself, Part 2, titled Pre-Lives. You can find that in the member library. But we're going to be focusing on what a lead-in actually is. It's something you say or do before you say your first line. And the purpose of that is supposedly to get you in the right tone of voice, right? So if you're supposed to be conversational, you might say, hey guys, and say, do you want to save money on your car insurance? Like you'll say something like that. Or, look, would you like to save money on your car insurance? I want to challenge your understanding of what lead-ins are in this video. Most students that I've coached and what I've seen from other people in workshops that I've actually been part of is they make 2 major mistakes with lead-ins. The first is they use a lead-in to just get them in the right sound. They focus too much on the sound, really, is what it is. And maybe that first line sounds right, but the major complaint that people have is they lose it. They lose it throughout the script. Or, and I argue that this might actually be worse, is they'll use the lead-in, get in the right tone of voice that they consider what they seem to be the right tone of voice, and then they're stuck in that tone for the entire script. Hey guys, do you want to save money on your car insurance? Come on down today to our Radio Shack, I don't know why I said that, Radio Shack insurance place. We'll give you $5 off. Come on down today. Everything sounds the same. It's a one-notey read, okay? Which is arguably worse than sounding different from the top to the bottom because you couldn't maintain the tone. The second problem I see with people who use lead-ins is that they are using lead-ins that they think are the right lead-ins to use, or they're relying on lead-ins that other people have given them, namely coaches or people that coach them in a workshop, agents or casting directors, because I have personally experienced this from coaches and casting directors and agents who early on, I'd say like the 2022, 23 and 24, I've had people try to tell me what to do before I say my first line. Hey DJ, let's try this. You need to sound conversational, so say, hey guys, okay? Hey guys. Or, hey DJ, you need to sound more authoritative. Clench your fists. Okay. Hey guys. And I tried those and they never got me where I needed to be. They never did. And so all it did was cause frustration for the coach. And it also caused me frustration as we were just butting heads the whole time and he or she couldn't communicate what they needed to get me to do. It's not their fault, per se. It's just a misunderstanding of what the lead-in is actually supposed to be used for. Okay, and so in this video, what I hope you walk away with is how to curate your own lead-ins so that whatever script you get, if you need to be happy, if you need to be confident, authoritative, warm, friendly, you know what to do to get yourself there. But, and this is a huge but, if you haven't watched my How to Practice Voiceover by Yourself video, Part 1, and it's called Emotional Connection. If you haven't watched that video, please pause this video and go watch that because I'm going to be referencing and really just thinking that you've already watched that video. Okay. But none of this will make sense if you haven't seen the video yet. Okay. So please pause the video here, go watch the other one and come back here. Okay. Now, when we did the activities in that first video about emotional connection, I always tell you to tell stories to yourself in front of the video camera. And you want to find stories about times where you felt happy, you felt sad, you felt disappointed and frustrated, and you felt like you overcame a challenge, or you felt warm and all of these things. You can choose a plethora of emotions, but you should have at least curated probably two or three solid stories that you can draw on, that'll get you into a confident or authoritative sound, that'll get you into a warm and friendly, maybe even compassionate sound, or into that conversational, whatever edgy tone you want to go for, right? So, how do you bring that into your script? Okay, I'll just say, hey guys, to get conversational. No, 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 no. What we have to do is we have to refer back to the videos that we recorded about those stories. And when we do that, we want to watch. We want to watch for those emotional peaks, okay? Those emotional peaks that we talked about, right? We want to watch when those emotional peaks are happening, what is our body doing? What are our eyes doing? What is our forehead and eyebrows doing? What is our posture? Are we leaned back? Are we sitting forward? Are we standing? What are our hands, our gesticulations? Are we open? Are we closed? Are we pointing? Are we open, palms down? All of these matter. This is even before what we say, when we talk about what we say. But if you looked at all that, also pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth while you're reaching that climactic point in the story. Was there some kind of phrase you said? Was there something that, if you were to say that 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 words would immediately bring you back to that story again? We have to identify that. And it's going to be different for everybody. That's why lead-ins that sound like, hey guys, or look, I'm like, dude, you're like the 80th person to say, look. I don't think everybody's personal story has look in it, okay? I don't. But let's just go with it, all right? Let's just say that's what you have. Whatever it is you do, you've identified it. Now what we have to do is we have to go back to the script and pull it back up here, okay? And I'm going to show you, using my own stuff, I'm going to give you 2 bad reads of what lead-ins should not sound like. And then I'm going to show you what a congruent, that's completely me, grounded in reality, lead-in for DJ Dykes looks like. Check this out. Hey guys, you know what I love? Being there for every game, every muddy adventure, every dad watch this moment. You know what I love? Being there for every game, every muddy adventure, every dad watch this moment. Okay? Those reads are not very good at all. They're not going to book anything. Now, let me do the same tone, all right, the same tones, but this time with intention based on what I would normally do. Watch my body, watch my face, watch my hands, and listen to my voice. I know, right? But you know what I love? Being there for every game, every muddy adventure, every dad watch this moment. They told me I couldn't do it. But you know what? You know what I love? Being there for every game, every muddy adventure, every dad watch this moment. Whether you like those 2 takes or not is irrelevant. What matters is that everything that I did with my eyes, my hands, my chest, my posture, and my voice are all congruent to what I would do if I was telling stories related to those emotions. Namely, the conversational, like talking to my friend emotion, and a bit more like direct, in your face, authoritative, confident, even a bit of swagger read, right? Those 2 stories are what I was channeling there. But I can even go warm and compassionate here with the same thing. She did. She changed me. You know what I love? Being there for every game, every muddy adventure, every dad watch this moment. No pre-life yet. Again, there's so many layers to this. It's not pre-life. It's just lead in. But in that particular thing, I was replaying the story of me talking about my daughter and how she's made me a better man, a better father, a better husband. I replayed that, and by tapping into phrases that I've said in those stories, in that story, it just brings me to that first line, where it's just like, she changed me. You know what I love, right? It just brings me there. It's so much better than, hey guys, you know what I love? None of that even works for me, okay? It doesn't work. So what I want you to do, if you are, let's imagine you've already watched the video and you know what you're going to do. I want you to pause the video again and record 2 more takes. And this time record your video, record your lead in, and see if that first line sounds different. See if it sounds better. And I'm willing to bet that it does. I'm willing to bet it. As a matter of fact, drop it in the comments down below and let me know. Do you notice a difference in the sound and the feel of the script as you use that lead in? So let's go ahead and button all this up with some key takeaways. 1, your very first line has to land, always. It has to land, otherwise you're out, okay? And the trained ears of casting directors, even clients, know if something is grounded in a reality. And if you're using a lead-in that isn't congruent with what you normally do, look, if it isn't something you normally do, it's never going to sound that way. It just won't, all right, because nothing matches. All right, so congruency is paramount. Eyes, hands, posture, voice. All of these have to work together, okay? Record yourself and see what you do when you're telling your stories. Second, a lead-in is not a pre-life, okay? A lead-in is not a replacement for a pre-life. A lead-in works best when a pre-life has already been established, all right? And you already know who you're talking to, where are you, why are you saying what you're saying? You already know the answers to those 3 questions, and a lead-in is just something that's going to carry the emotion throughout the story. Third takeaway, if you're using lead-ins improperly and just relying on the sound of a lead-in, if you don't want to do any of this work, you don't want to do anything that we just talked about in this video, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever the coach told me to do. Hey, guys, you are either going to lose the sound by the second or third sentence, or you're going to get stuck in one sound and be one-notey throughout the entire read. And neither one of those is going to book the job, or it's not going to book jobs that are worth booking anyways, okay? So those 3 things are really important. Hopefully you guys found value in this. If you didn't understand anything that I explained here, or you want me to make a video going in more detail, or even more examples, drop it in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to read those and see what I can drum up for you guys, okay? But yeah, that's it, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.